Now, one of the things that's calculated in addition to the expected progeny difference is the accuracy. Accuracies become very important, especially to purebred producers. Because a purebred producer, when they're making selection decisions, they're really beginning to try to fine-tune their operations and fine-tune the genetics within their herds. And so the more accurate an animal, the better off they are. Accuracy improves on a bull the more data is in the database. And accuracy greatly improves when we have progeny data that is added to the database. So the calves that are sired by a bull will really drive up the accuracy of that particular bull's traits. Most commercial producers, they're buying unproven bulls. So their accuracies are going to be on the lower side for almost all of those bulls. And so in this slide, you could see that a bull with a lower accuracy, maybe an accuracy of 0.4, could have a possible change value of 23 pounds. So if the EPD was 30, it could go from 6 pounds all the way up to 55 pounds. Whereas a bull with an accuracy of 80 with a smaller change value could go from a little over 20 pounds to just under 40 pounds difference there. So again, it's a little bit closer fine-tuning of that. So as we look at EPDs and we kind of figure out how we use them, if we've got two bulls, we've got bull A and we've got bull B. Bull A had a +6 on his birth weight EPD. Bull B had a +1. So if we look at it and we mate both bulls to similar type of cows, Bull B's calves would be predicted to be 5 pounds lighter at birth than Bull A. Again, that gives you an example of how we can utilize EPDs. So let's look at some scenarios here. So if we've got a part-time commercial cow-calf producer, 4 different neighbors we're going to talk about. They've got all different types and kinds of operations. But neighbor C, he's a part-time commercial cow-calf producer. He's got 3 pastures, he's got 30 cows, 1 bull. He's kind of an honorary lifetime member of the Bull of the Month Club. He just, whatever bulls the next in line he uses or what breed he uses. This past calving season, he had a 45% incidence of dystocia in his heifers, which is huge. He does not intend to save any replacements from this new herd sire. So the question is, well, what is his emphasis going to be on this next bull to use on these replacement females? Well, the obvious answer is we need a low birth weight bull there because he had such a high incidence of dystocia. And so if we look at bull number 2, he had a negative 6.4 on his birth weight. The average of the breed was 1.9. And so you can see he's well below any of those other bulls that we have there. The next neighbor, neighbor D, says, well, he's a little disappointed in his weaning weights of his calves the last couple of years. Seems like they do good after I wean them. He's got some big, fast-growing, late-maturing, exotic or continental type cows. And he's had those for several generations. So he's mostly continental kind of cattle. They're fast-growing, later maturing cows, but if we look at those calves, it seems like when he weans them, they take off. To me, it says, well, he's probably got a milk problem in his cow herd, and so he needs to really emphasize and improve the milking ability of those cows so that those calves, when they wean, they will have a little bit better average daily gain from birth to weaning there. So as we look at the bulls, we've got birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, and milk. If you'll go into the bull 3, you can see he's a +25 for milk. So again, we begin to prioritize the bulls and look and figure out which one we need that works best for us. Here's a producer. The next neighbor's got Brahman influence, half-blood type cows. So let's just say they're Brahman Hereford cows or Brahman Angus, whatever it may be. They are at average flesh. The cows weigh 1,200 to 1,300 pounds, so good-sized cows. We know those Brahman cross cows are very easy calving type females. So we don't focus as much on birth weight on these mature Brahman influenced cows. He buys all of his replacement females and occasionally retains ownership of his calves through the feed yard. He's looking for a bull that will sire fast-growing, heavy-weaning calves. And so as you look at that, we've got a couple of bulls there left. One of them's got a little lower birth weight, but weaning weight and yearling weight is probably in par with the breed average. But that first bull, you can see, is weaning weight of plus 67 and yearling weight of plus 121. Now his birth weight, EPD, is a little high, but we're putting that bull on mature Brahman cross cows that are known for easy calving. So we're probably not as worried as much about that. And then the last operation is kind of just the middle of the road operation. They've got steers that are weaning at 535 pounds. The heifers are at 500 pounds. Raises his own replacement females. Just needs kind of a bull that has got some good weaning weight and yearling weight. You know, average, maybe a little above average, and that's kind of what that last bull does for us there. Now, a little bit easier tool as we begin to your selection process, we could begin to compare bull A or bull B back to one another in their EPDs. For me, a little bit easier way to approach a bull sale, or just like that sheet of paper that I showed you with all the bulls that were available on that particular purebred operation, I go through and I look at, well, how do those bulls rank compared to the rest of the breed? And so what we can look at, and all of our breed associations calculate percentile rankings. So I can look at and say, well, you know, I'm interested in this bull. Well, where does he rank within the rest of the breed for yearling weight? Is he in the top half or the top 10%? And where does that at? And each breed association annually and some biannually will produce these charts, percentile breakdowns for active sires, non-parent bulls, current dams, or non-parent cows. And so for most commercial producers, they're going to be looking at the non-parent bulls. As you can see, I've got a green line drawn across this slide, and that's at the 50th percentile, which you can also see as we look down to the bottom of the page, and that 50th percentile is right there at the breed average. Anything above that line, those animals would be better than the breed average, and anything below those data points would be below the breed average. So, for example, if I look at a bull and he's got a weaning weight, EPD, of plus 69, I can look at my chart and I can say, wow, he's in the top 1%. So what I can do is, and what I did on that one data sheet is, I said, okay, I want to select the bulls that are in the top 20% for yearling weight and weaning weight, because this rancher was looking for terminal sire. They're going on mature Brahman influenced cows, Brahman cross cows, so I'm not as focused on birth weight. So then I drop my birth weight down to maybe the top 65%. So then I can begin to set those thresholds there on that particular sheet and sort out the bulls that I felt were the ones that I wanted to look at. If I had access to an Excel file with these EPDs, then I could go in and sort those Excel files based off of birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, and then pick out the bulls that meet my cutoff there. So percentile rankings are very effective and really simplify the bull selection process and combing through that data. There are catalogs that you can search, EPD databases for breeds, and you can begin to sort those, just like this slide shows, where you can have your criteria of where the range you want as far as maybe a calving ease direct EPD or so on there. So there's a lot of different tools, but percentile rankings are a very effective tool that help us out there.